Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're stopping by for the first time, my name is Ichoma. I am a content creator based in Zurich, Switzerland. I create content centered on lifestyle, cultural appreciation, motherhood, and every other thing in between. So thank you for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy what I do here. Wow, yeah. So without further ado, let's dive right into the content that brought us here today. Of course, expect some breakdowns here and there. It's not easy. I never thought my dad's death would be a case study to be creating this content, but this is my reality. I have to live with it. I have to face it. I have to embrace it because, I mean, when you accept it, it kind of lessens the burden. It kind of lessens the grief. It kind of lessens. I hope it lessens it. I hope it does. But anyway, that's it. You must have probably heard that in Igbo land, no be one person get pikin. When a child is born, you hear songs like Onurolungwa ye, Onurolungwa mengwangwa, Bugiltonye. In Igbo land, when a child is born, I think I've made a video, probably link it in the description box concerning this. When a child is born, it doesn't just belong to one person, it belongs to the community. Like, let me say, when I got married, when I had my first child, my father-in-law, unfortunately, he was late, but then it is the duty, or it is expected that my husband's people will take wine to my father, who will then inform his kinsmen that, oh, their daughter married to so person, or their daughter married to so place has given birth. So in the same way, if anything should happen to me after a ripe old age, amen to that, my husband and my family will go and inform my kinsmen that look at the situation at hand. And if it happens to be a male child, the family will have to go and inform his maternal people. Of course, you inform their kinsmen first, and then you go ahead to inform his maternal people that, oh, look at what the situation with their grandchild. So in this situation, being my dad, we had to inform our kinsmen. You probably heard the sound from the Igbo split drum at the beginning of this video. That sound, whenever it is being beaten, or whenever you hear that sound in my village, it means that someone has gone to the one beyond, to the world beyond. So in that situation, we have settled the kinsmen. Of course, you don't just go, like, when you're announcing a baby's birth, you don't go empty-handed. When you're equally announcing the death, it's quite unfortunate, you don't equally go empty-handed. Sometimes you hear people say, oh, they have not been able to bury their dead family member because of money. It's true. You don't just bury somebody like that. I know people in Anambra, they can just go ahead to bury the person, and then they'll tell you that they will mourn the person at a later stage, at a later time, when the children, or probably when they find the money. In my own place, they also do it, but it's not really as prominent as it is in Anambra. Like, we hardly do that. I know I've heard of it that they did it in the past, but I've not witnessed it before, where, like, let me say, somebody will be buried, and then maybe they'll fix the celebration or the festivities around it at a later stage, at a later date. So anyway, without going around parambulating and diverting, let's get right into this. So, like, when my dad died, at first my younger brother was like, oh, we have to announce it with gunshots, and it is a taboo because my dad died at a very young age. He's died prematurely. If it were to be someone like in his 90s, 100s, you can do that, I believe. So my brother was like, oh, we announced his death with gunshots, and they said, no, you're not celebrating it. Gunshots are for celebration. You're not celebrating it. It is an untimely death. It was a shocking or an unexpected death. So we came back home. Of course, the villagers are aware, but you have to make it official. You have to talk to call your kinsmen together. You give them wine, then they will make their demands and tell you these are the things you will give to them. Then after they have eaten, drank, and accepted whatever it is you brought. If I am wrong, it might not be the same in your own village. Please let me know in the comment section. We are all here to learn. Please don't come to put a stamp on it that no, you're wrong. I know I might be wrong, but this is how it is being done in my village. At least I was like a first-hand witness to all these, being the first daughter puts me on that. Hey, was na yagama word. So we came back. My uncle was there. We informed our kinsmen that our dad is late, and then they sounded the split drum. I'll play it when I'm editing this video. I'll still put it so that you get to hear it. And now, in the past, unlike present day, we have our phone calls, we have our electronic media where we share information. We have other means of sharing information. We have letters. In the past, it was more like we have different instruments, African musical instruments used in making announcements. We have the gong, we have the drum, we have the Igbo split drum. Like, I know sometimes you see, they might even give it a child and then it's being spread across by a town crier. I know in my village, sometimes you hear a child carrying a small gong and gwang 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 asuno biango miorio, meaning they are calling you people to come and drink the wine. Like the 4 market days, Orie is our market, which is Oriamakoya. So on this day, the kinsmen usually come to drink wine together. And blah 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 blah, and all those there to body. So you see, sometimes it will be an adult hitting this gong, go. They are calling on people to come and drink wine for Oriamakoya or for Ori market. So in the past, you also hear the drums have different meanings. They have a pattern, they are being sung. I know when in my maternal home, whenever they're announcing that the vigilante group is about starting their work for the night, they will go boom, 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 obodo chegenche. When you listen, what you hear is obodo chegenche, meaning that the society is keeping watch, or the vigilante group are keeping watch of what's happening of the night, or they're keeping watch over their village. So they have different ways of beating these drums, and each sound has a different meaning. Even when a child is born, they also have a different way to announce it, calling on people, summoning on people, oh, come and drink, come and make merry. So in this one, you hear the sound. This one belongs to announcing a dead person. And now, furthermore, like we said, a child does not just belong to one person. The child belongs to his maternal home as well. So in my that situation, we had to go inform his maternal people that he is late. And when you go, you meet the kinsmen or those in charge of the list. Of course, you're not doing it empty-handed. They'll present you with the list. It's quite unfortunate to say that this list varies. It's not always the same thing. It doesn't contain the same content. Like, I mean, when they brought the list to us, you see them using an ink to cancel. They'll just assume, his children are rich. His children are abroad. He's this one, he's that one, he did great, blah, 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 blah. I remember there's one they wrote, I think they wrote a goat. They cancelled it, they wrote chicken. It was supposed to be chicken. They cancelled it and wrote a goat. There's one they wrote 5,000 there. They cancelled it and wrote 5,000 there. You see, like, at least this one, the ink, the paper was printed, but then you see this person using a normal ink to correct it. Instead of 5,000, they wrote 50. And thereabouts. So, we had to meet with the kinsmen. We negotiated. Of course, just like when you're marrying a wife, you still go for negotiation. Negotiated, and then we brought everything they required on that list, because before you go ahead to bury anybody, if it were to be a woman, people from his maiden home will first come and dig the first shovel to signify this is where he's going. Like they say it's Imam Bazo. They will dig and then say yes, they are in support of it. Then the same thing with a man. When it is a man, his maternal people will come and do the same thing. So after they have been settled, I still have a video here. I'll play it as I'm editing this video. You see them, they will now be celebrating. Blah, 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 blah. It's quite unfortunate. I mean, when I saw that video, I was like, I didn't jubilate. See, grief. When they say in Igbo, Eburozonyo or they Eburozonyo, so they can walk kebu. Like, I've come across these videos before, but I never attached anything to it. But when it happened to me directly, hey God, I was like, what are these people doing? What are they doing? Is this celebration? It's just like when we applied for my dad's funeral. My mom was like, you do that. I'm like, AJ, you have to say. I said, Mommy, am I celebrating? Mommy, I am mourning. I thought that, see, even if it were to be possible, I would be the one to sew my clothes myself. I don't want anything beautiful. Even the friend was like, oh, you can call a makeup person. God. So I'm like, What are you talking about? So I think I've done justice to this video. Yeah, at least take home is that we announced death. Just like we announced the birth of a child, we also announced the death of that child when they eventually die, especially as an adult, you know, because you have to carry on these things. You have to do all of them before you go ahead to bury the person. If not, the spirits will come for you. If not, they'll come for you. At least I've heard of situations where stuff like that happened, but that's not that for this video. And then the maternal people or the maiden home have a role to play, depending on if it is a man or a woman. And then, so, and another thing is, you cannot just go ahead to fix a funeral. You have to consult your kinsmen. And then, because there are some days you cannot bury someone, just like in Igbo culture, there are some days you cannot go ahead to marry, especially there are days you're not allowed to marry. There are some days that are revered that you cannot do anything. Some people will tell you, oh, on so days you don't go to the stream. So you have to make this announcement to your kinsmen and then carry them along and tell them, look at when you intend fixing the funeral, and they will give you, they will tell you, especially for those of us that don't really know, that are not really well grounded in the culture and traditions of our people. So you always have to go through these processes to get yourself acquainted and know what is expected of you. And yeah, I mean, I can equally attach this video. In Igbo land, the first and second sons, the first daughter and the second daughter, the first son and the first daughter have a very big role to play. Like during my dad's funeral, I was the one carrying the picture in front of the ambulance. My brother had to stay home to welcome him. And yeah, I think I've done enough. I've said enough for this video. Yeah, it's all about planning for my dad's funeral. I think that's pretty much it. After all these things were completed, we fixed the date, we went to the church. And then another thing is, after the funeral, there are also some rights that are being given to the people, the bereaved family, the bereaved, and then they will officially write off the person's name from their list. Like my dad, after his funeral, my kinsmen came together, they gave my mom whatever it was that was her right, and then my dad's name was written off the list. Oh, gosh. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.